Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a maintenance for the Jeanneau. Our Mercury 225 horsepower outboard needs oil change. This is the time of the year that we do it. We always do it almost at the beginning of the season, even though we took a little longer this time because they did it earlier last year, actually a little later last year. So we're going to go ahead and do the oil change, and we're going to go ahead and show you how we did it on this engine here. For your engine, if you have a Mercury outboard 225 horsepower, and I'm sure that the 200 and the 250 may be similar, and probably about the same. So stay tuned, and here we go. Right, so one of the first things we're going to do is take off the cowling, and all you have to do is just press here. You got to press really hard. There you go. And then you have this little button here. You press down on it and lift this part here, and that unclips all the locking mechanism all the way around. So there's nothing else to be done here other than to pull this here. But I need two hands for it, so I'll be right back. All right, so here we go. Let's take off this cover. And all I have to do is just pull it up and just straight up, and then put it to the side. You may need a little help because it's not really light, so you may need a little help to take it off sometimes, but it should be fine. Let's just lay it here for a second. All right, so here are everything you're going to need to do your oil change for that Mercury 225. We use the 4-stroke 10W30 synthetic blend. Now there's a choice of synthetic blend and full synthetic. Full synthetic is just about $10–12 more for the gallon, and these here is just a few dollars more. You can do the full synthetic, you could do the synthetic blend, which is I've been using for a while. The next item you're going to need, of course, is your oil filter. Oil filter number is right on there, 35-8M0123025. This is for the 225 Mercury. It's the 2023 model. Okay, next thing you're going to use, it's a hose, clear hose, so that way you can see when the oil is being taken out, you can see where it's at. Next one, 5/8 plug. It's a spark plug socket, 5/8 size, to be able to open the valve so the oil can drain out. Next thing I have is, of course, a funnel that you can use so you won't spill the oil when you put it back in, a towel, and basically that's it. For this model, you're going to use like about 6.6 quarts of oil, and we should be fine with what we have here. We'd have to double check that since it's the first time we're going to do the oil change on this engine. So we're ready. We're going to go ahead and set everything up and start doing the oil change. So stay tuned. And of course, the last item you're going to need is a wrench to take off the oil filter from the engine. And that's it. All right, here's another item you're going to need. It's just empty gallons of milk or whatever, or juice or whatever. We have 2 of them here, so we have 2 gallons worth of oil that we can take out from the engine and store it in there. And then later on, once we're done, we'll go to our auto parts and just flow it into their recycle bin there, so that way they can recycle the oil. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and put that little hose that we need to put there. We're going to loosen this just like a little bit, just enough for us to be able to turn it. So once you loosen it up, just leave it where it's at, because otherwise the oil starts flowing and you're going to spill it all over the place. So we have a little hose that we put on there, and then once we loosen it, when we're ready to flow the oil, then we just turn the hose until the oil starts flowing. But before we do that, I would like to have the engine sitting upright. It's in a little angle right now, so the next thing we're going to do is bring the angle down so that way the engine is straight. Yeah, I think it's right there. That looks straight to you. It looks straight to me. All right, as long as it's straight, so that way all the oil can flow down and come out from that valve over there. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, first things, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and loosen it up. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So we're gonna go to the left to loosen it up just slightly. You don't want to loosen it up all the way because you'll have the oil spill out. So we're gonna go ahead and open that up just slightly. Is it turning? Yep. But can you turn it by hand? No. You gotta loosen it up until you can turn it by hand. And just keep an eye on it so the oil doesn't seep out. You know why it's a little tight? Because it probably has a little bit of salt on the threads there, and it's going to make it a little difficult, of course. So you just have to turn it until you can do it by hand, and you still can't because it's probably all the salt. And now it's good to go. Close it up. You see how it leaked a little bit? That's what you don't want to happen right there. So now it's loosened up that you can turn it by hand. So you have to turn it slightly a few times, and you may want to turn it and see if it's still open a little bit, and leave that that rag there so we won't make a mess all over the place. All right, so we have the hose on there. We have the jug going into the okay, so now we're going to turn it by hand. It's a little difficult because of that salt in there, so it's not going to be easy to turn. There we go. You see the oil flowing right into there, and it's going right into this little jug right here. This is just to keep everything in place. We don't want oil falling anywhere, so that's going to take a while. So we're just going to let it sit there for a few minutes, and then we're going to take off the oil filter, because once you take off the oil filter, it'll give you a little bit of air and the oil will flow a little faster. And here we go. All right, so now we're ready to take off the filter. This is the oil filter, and it's on the port side. And as you can see, this yellow cap right there, that's the line for the little reservoir right under there that catches the oil when you take this off. So if you have spillage of oil from the filter, it'll be caught on this little pan in there, and then that pan has a little thing here you can take off and drain it out. So now the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and loosen it up and take it off. All right, as you all say, you know, just in case we put a little rag around it, we just don't want to make a mess and have oil flowing everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and take it off now. All right, so here we go. And you don't have to press it too much. You just got to turn it until it turns, and it's turning with no problems. You just loosen it up where you can take it off by hand. And there we go. So now you just take it all off completely, and then you're going to grab that thing, turn it, and use the rag so that way you won't spill it all over the place. And just turn it around, and voila, no problems. And of course you can see the oil, it's spilling into that little reservoir there, so there's no spillage other than this little bit here. And we'll go ahead and clean that up now. A little bit there and a little aside, not a huge problem. All right, perfect. So now since we took this off, the oil from the hose should flow a little bit easier, because now you have air going in to the system. So we're just gonna have to check that side now. Okay, all we're doing here is just cleaning up a little bit around the lip where the new filter is going to sit. Make sure there's nothing dirty there. You have it all cleaned up. It looks good. All right, after we took off that filter, you can see it's going a little bit faster. The flow is a little bit faster, and we still have more oil to come out. All right, so we're going to get ready with the new filter, and you can see it has a clear cover there, so it's all brand new. And we just checked it with the old one to make sure that it's exactly the same size. You never know when you order these things, they send you the wrong one. You know, nowadays everything you have to be double checking. It's exactly the same height, same size, same diameter, everything, so it's good to go. All right, so we got the right one. Yeah, it's still flowing into the jug. This part you're gonna have to be a little patient. Just let it flow until it's done. You need to get all that oil out before you put the new one in. All right, so once you're done taking the oil out completely, all you have to do is just turn it back where it seats and then do like a quarter turn. Don't overdo it because these things are really delicate. You can mess it up easily. So right now we're just going to give it a second try again. We already have it at the quarter turn, but you'll see it won't move anymore, so that's where it's supposed to stay. So don't overdo it. Then the next thing we do is just put a little bit of the rag inside that little hole there, because there is a little bit of oil there. You don't want to spill it in the ocean or any other place. So right now we have here this jug here almost full to the top, and this other jug that we have here that we just found out is not a full gallon, but this one is almost full all the way to the top as well. So we got all the oil that we needed to take out. Now we're ready to go ahead and put the oil filter in place. All right, so now we're going to get a little bit of the clean oil and we're going to go ahead and rub it at the edge of the gasket there. And what that's going to do is next time we take off the filter, it won't get stuck. It'll be easy to take off, just like we had it taken off at this time. It came off pretty easy. All right, the next thing we're going to do, there is a little oil inside that little oil pan in there. There's a little reservoir, so when you take off the filter, the oil fills in there. And then we're going to take off that plug there and try to put it into the jug. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And George, you go ahead whenever you're ready. Just take the little plug out. There we go. It's a little bit only. Yeah, you gotta put it where it's supposed to. Otherwise, it's going to be a difficult one. But that's just a little tiny bit. You can see the reservoir in there. I mean, it's not that much, but we want to take it out and not leave it in there. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put the new filter with the little grease on the seal there. We're going to turn it by hand and only by hand. Do not use a wrench to tighten this one up. Once you line it up with the threads, just turn it by hand until it seats. It's seated now. 3/4 turn. After that, that's all you need. By the 3/4 turn, it should stop on its own, where you can't turn it anymore anyway. And that's basically it. So that feel like a 3/4 turn there?
Yeah,
see, do it by hand.
I can't even move it anymore.
There you go.
That's what I was
see,
thinking.
right there it sits, and you can't turn it anymore, and that's all you need to do. All right, so now we're ready to add the oil. All right, so here we are at the last final stretch of the oil change. And here you have everything you need right here. This is the dipstick right here. And right there, you'll see a little diagram of how to use the little, it comes with little 5 little yellow balls. And as long as those little balls have a little bit of oil dripping from it, that's where the mark is. And as long as you're within that little crosshatch, everything is fine. Below that crosshatch, it says to add. So we're going to go ahead and do the oil little by little and check it a couple of times so we can get within that range and not over. This one here is going to be the dipstick. This is going to be where you pour your oil into. So here we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use a little funnel. That'll keep a mess from happening. And you have to be careful with that gallon there because it's a little bit heavy, and you want to try to keep it inside that funnel. This is going to take 6.6 quarts of oil. The gallon is 4 quarts, so we know that we're going to go ahead and pour the whole 4 quarts of the gallon, and then we're going to pour 1 more quart, and then we're going to double check the dipstick. And here you go with the quart. Now on the sticker there it says 6.6, but that's not, it's not quarts, it's 6.6 liter, but we use here quarts, so it's actually 7 US quarts. This engine takes 7 quarts. But what I like to do is, you know, put 6 and then check the dipstick and then go from there, so that way you don't go over. You don't really want to go over, because I don't think that's a good thing. So we just want to keep it within the range of those little balls. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and check the dipstick. We just put 5 quarts of oil, 4 from the gallon and 1 full quart. We just check it just to be sure. And I think it's like somewhere in here.
Yeah, it's on the first.
On the first.
Right after the first ball.
Yeah, the first ball there. I see it. You're gonna see like a little drop accumulating there on the first ball. It didn't reach the second one, so we're gonna go ahead and put another quart in there and then check it again. All right, we're gonna go ahead and prep and get ready to add another quart that we have ready here. Funnel in place and add 1 full quart again, and then we'll check it again. And we may need a little bit more, but it's a good thing to have an extra quart. Even if it's a little bit left over, it's always good to have an extra bit here on the boat in case one day it's a little low and then you have some to be able to replenish. And now we're going to go ahead and take that off again and retry the dipstick and check and see where it's at. All right, so here we go again. Let's see where it's at now. On the second one, right? First, second, and third.
And a half.
All right, we're almost there. We're actually almost there. So it says within that range there, you can see it dripping there. You can see the drip there, right there. You can see drip there, and you can see the drip there. So that means it's right here. This one I don't see anything. I don't see anything. So it's right in the middle at this moment. Now you can leave it just like that, or you can just add just a little bit more and bring it up here to this level. That way you're never going to go low. If it does go low a little bit, you have a little extra there. So we'll probably end up doing a little bit more just to be safe. But the important thing is do not go over. Stay within this ball here or below. Do not go over that. All right, now we're putting in the last little bit. You gotta do little by little until we get to those marks. We don't want to pass those marks. All right, we just connected the hose there so we can turn on the engine. Since we changed the oil and the oil filter, we need the oil to circulate and fill the oil filter, so that way we can check the final status of the oil fill. We have the pea coming out through there, and we're ready to start the engine. All right, so here we go. Make sure you turn on your battery switches and grab the keys.
Oh, it's on there.
Yes. And put it on here. Put it on, and all right, here we go. Right, going to check it again after we started the engine for about 30 seconds to a little bit less than a minute. Bring it back because I can't see it unless you bring it back. Okay, this one's low, this one's low, this one has, and this one has. So we're about right here. So we need to add it up to about here. All right, we're going to add just a little more because it's still a little bit too low. All right, so here's the final of all the oil we just added. Let me see, we're okay, perfect. We're all over there. And let me see here. Excellent. So we're not passed anywhere, and all of these balls have a little oil now, so we're good to go. And we just finished doing the whole oil change, and we don't do it until the next season again, since we don't use that many hours. So we're ready to go. People, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope it helps you do the oil change on your own, and that way you'll save a lot of money. And not only save a lot of money, the most important thing why I do it myself is because most of the time, not all, there's good mechanics out there, but it's hard to find a good mechanic that can come and do the job properly without messing something up. So since I don't trust that much, I do these little things myself, and that way I know exactly what's in there, what I did, and if something goes wrong, I know where to look for. So anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked the video, please don't forget to splash the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, now it's a good time to do so. and it'll make my day, it'll make me happy, and it'll help me out as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace from the Keys.